What's up, everybody? So today we have Danny Coronado of the True Lending team, and he's going to be giving some productivity hacks, tips, and tricks. He's got a lot of good stuff. I've already been talking to him before we started, and I know this is going to be a good one. So, Danny, go ahead and just say hello, and we can jump right into it.
Hi guys, Danny Coronado. Most of you guys already know me. True Lending Team, RWM Home Loans, and we're here with Josh, and we're going to be discussing some topics that me and him touched on a little bit, and I think it's going to be very effective and productive for you guys. If you guys take one takeaway from this, I think it's going to help you tremendously. A lot of times we get bombarded with multiple things at once, or we go to all these seminars and we get so much information that we tend to forget to implement just one or two things. And the key in everything is one thing at a time. And I think if we focus on certain things and we focus on some of the weaknesses that we may have, and we start out with one or two things, and that's results, guys. And as you progress, when you implement one item or two items, the natural growth is to add something else. And you progress through that and you become successful, guys, and it becomes a habit. And that's what we want to get to, because we want to see everybody succeed on the AG team.
Yeah. So for context, everyone's really busy right now, right? Everyone's really busy. So even adding one thing is going to be challenging. So if we were to add and start at one specific piece of content, what would you suggest?
So I'm busy as well, right? And I'm working 10, 12 hours a day, right? So I got to manage my time very, very carefully. And it starts with your morning routine, guys. You know, the earlier you get, the more productive you're going to be. So my goal for myself is to wake up at 6 in the morning, break a little sweat, you know, get breakfast, be in the shower by 7:30, out the door by 8 o'clock, so I can get to my emails. I want to get through all the little busy work that I could get rid of right away and take care of right away, right? Going through all my emails and setting the foundation for the day and my tasks for the day. I tend to do that the night before as far as what I need to get accomplished the following day. So I do that the night before, but when I get to the office, I get through my emails, get through the busy work, so I can focus on money-making activities, guys, green time, and that is the key. And the successful agents that I work with, I see that. I see the agents getting up at 5, 6, 7 a.m., getting their day started and taking advantage of the day, right? We don't know how long these opportunities are going to last, so we got to take advantage of it while they're here, guys.
Yeah, so I know I'm not the biggest morning person. I've become more of a morning person. But, you know, I think the biggest game changer here, the thing that I think is the difference between someone doing this morning routine or doing a routine in general and not doing it, is planning that night before.
Right.
So I feel like once I actually started planning the night before for the next day, I was much more in gear with my morning routine. And that was the major shift that I did that really was effective. So let's break this down a little bit further, because everyone talks about the morning routine, but no one is doing it. Okay. What did you find for yourself personally that allowed you to start getting into that morning routine? Or the full day routine?
Right. So personally, I saw my competition get up early, right? So when they get up before me, it gives them a competitive advantage, right? They probably get more done. They probably get through more leads. Who knows what it is, but it gave me the drive to start implementing it, right? And it was not easy, guys, because like Josh, I'm not a morning person either, but
right,
once you get through the first couple weeks, it becomes a habit. So right now, honestly, for a long time, actually, I don't need an alarm clock to wake me up at 6 a.m. My body naturally wakes me up now. And so I kind of, you know, toss around the bed a little bit, but I get myself up within 5 minutes to get the day going, right? And the driving factor for that, for me, is motivation to succeed, to take advantage of the day, to get more production in, to get me more money at the end of the month or close more deals, right? That also allows me, if I get up early and get all my duties done and have a productive day, it allows me to get home earlier and be with my family, right? You need balance, right? And the problem is, and I see this with a lot of newer agents, is they're all over the place from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., right? There's no set structure. So we got to set that foundation.
Absolutely.
We have to set a structure, right? And I get coached through the core, and one of the most successful realtors that is in the core, I forget her name off the top of my head, but I'll get that name for you guys. But she sets a schedule, a time block schedule, right? With everything that she has to do: gym, eating, cold calls, listing appointments, buyer consultations. Everything is time blocked, but she's super efficient. And this is a lady that has 5 kids. Her husband doesn't work. She's the primary breadwinner, and she's able to manage this. And I think she closed over 300 transactions in San Antonio. But I'll get you guys that information. That way you guys can see it's a creditable source.
Yeah.
But time blocking is very, very important in our business if you want to succeed and get to the goals that you guys want to reach. And every one of us has the capacity to do that. And the key question is, do we want to? How successful do you want to be? Right? And that's what it comes down to.
Yeah. All right. What else you got? That was a good start.
So morning routine, time blocking to get through the day, right? And time management is very important. The next thing that we go into is mental mindset, guys.
Yeah.
So you have to have a positive outlook. You know, we're getting an influx of leads through Flex, which is one in a lifetime opportunity that you guys have at your disposal, guys. And is every lead going to pan out? No, right? But you have to have the mental fortitude to get past the bad ones and get the good ones. There may be a day where you meet an appointment at a house and they're an all cash buyer. They may buy $1 million home, right? It's just the roll of the dice, right? But if we go with a positive mental attitude to meet that person, your positivity is also going to reflect on that person that you're showing the home to, and you guys might hit it off, right? But with that, more importantly, it's going to carry you throughout the day. If you wake up with a negative attitude, or you go meet with a negative attitude, and you're thinking negative thoughts while you're driving to that appointment, oh, are they going to get qualified? Do they have enough money to close? You're going to, excuse my French, mind fuck yourself, right? So go in there with a positive attitude, some positive affirmations. Man, this guy's going to be a good lead. It's going to be great. We're going to get this closed. Whatever you may want to tell yourself, right? And you might get the result you want, right?
Yeah.
So that's one of the ways I look at things. Is there a lot of leads that don't qualify? Absolutely. Do I spend time and money running credit? Absolutely, right? But if I focus on the negative, it's going to yield me negative results. We got to look at the big picture at the end of the day to get us to where we want, right? We might have to go through 20 leads to get one, right? It's just part of it. But the positive that I see is that you guys have a phenomenal opportunity at your disposal to take advantage of it. Now, this is coming from a lender that's working with multiple agents that are on the Zillow platform.
Right.
Yeah. And I'm seeing other agents that are not on Flex get local agents that are your competitors. I've seen their leads go from like 15 to 20 leads a month to like 1 to 5, right? So that's like a 75% reduction in leads. Yeah. Right. And why is that? And I may be wrong about this, but that's because the AG team's getting most of them, right? So
it's a very good possibility. It could be
right.
That.
You guys have a great opportunity to capture this, right? Now, don't think short term. Think long term, guys. These may not play out right now, but if you nurture these leads, follow up with the leads, build a rapport with these leads, those are going to pan out. It's like a farmer planting a seed. Those crops don't go overnight. I mean, it's going to take 3 to 6 months for a harvest, depending on what they're growing. Same thing. We're planting that seed. Right. So you might get that harvest all at once. It might trickle down, but it's going to happen. Right.
Yep.
So that's the positivity in this thing, that it's
Mhm.
gotta happen, guys. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah. So there's three big takeaways that I got from here. Okay. So one is having that mindset. All right. And do you know our mission statement?
You know, I don't know it off the top of my
So
head.
let me tell you our mission statement. Our mission statement is to inspire belief in homeownership and help you find a community that you love. So if we go into every appointment with that mission and we're living that mission, that aligns with exactly what you said, having that right mindset, inspire belief in homeownership and help you find a community you love. And we know that that mission pays off. There's a reason for us having that. It's not just willy-nilly. We didn't just come up with that out of nowhere. It was because we wanted to do things with purpose. So when you
Right.
go on those appointments with that purpose, you know, that gives you the motivation, the mindset that you need to perform better. The
Mhm.
second thing that I got here was when you said just going on an appointment and talking to people. And I'm a people person, and I get energy from talking to other people. I go around to everyone in their office. I'm like, hey, how's it going here? What are you up to here? What are you struggling with? What are you doing good? What's working? What's not working? And I love just talking with everybody. And that brings me energy in my job so that I can perform better. And I know that all the real estate agents out there, they're people.
Right.
So they want to talk with these people and have that conversation. And when you have a good conversation, whew, I know it lights the rest of the day.
Right.
Right. So
Absolutely.
even that alone.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Hmm.
And having these positive talks with Josh, with Steven, with Ben, with myself. And I'm
Hmm.
gonna give you a perfect example. I got a lead from Miguel last night,
Hmm.
and you know, it might not have gone the way he wanted, but you know, I took that time to educate, to teach him, and to role play, and we turned it into something positive, right?
Right.
Because we're all learning from this, right? I learn every day from people.
Hmm.
I mean, sometimes the lessons are coming from a place where you least expect it, right? But that lights up, and then it changes your
Hmm.
mindset and it gets you going in another direction. And then that's what it's all about, just having that fortitude to push through all that, guys.
Yeah. And then the third part from that would be, oh, there's Ron. The third part from that is the follow-up part that you said, right? So even if that conversation isn't good, if you go in with the mindset of my mission is inspire belief in homeownership, help you find a community you love, that's the right mindset. Then you have that conversation and that's a good day. And then maybe it doesn't work out, but that follow-up, which we know all the production comes from the follow-up, right?
Absolutely.
So
And the other
so
thing that may
having that
happen,
three-piece structure is really good. And then we have all the different stuff that we have to allow them to follow up with the buyer's webinars and all
absolutely.
that.
And you know what else comes about? A good conversation with a lead, even if they don't pan out. But if you provide a great service, you provide them great content and knowledge,
Mm-hmm.
they're also going to refer you to a friend or a family member,
Absolutely.
right? And at
Absolutely.
that point, if you hit it off and you had a great conversation, you know what you do? You say, hey, you know what, Mr. Smith, I'm sorry I couldn't facilitate your transaction right now. We're going to continue to move forward and look for something. But do you have any other friends and family that we can help? I would love to be part of the process for them. And you
Yeah.
know what they're going to say? You know what, Josh, great job. I like how you helped me.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a couple names that may be interested, right?
Yeah.
And
And you got to
that goes,
ask.
yeah, that
Mm-hmm.
goes into another avenue that we could explore is asking for the business. A lot
Yeah.
of times we don't, and we need to start taking advantage of it because we got to capitalize on every point of contact that we speak to.
Yeah.
Take advantage
But
of it, guys.
the whole thing, we hear this all the time.
Right.
Everybody tells you, oh yeah, just talk to them, build that good relationship, and eventually they'll come back, right?
Mhm.
We hear it all the time from agent after agent after agent, and the reason why we hear it is because it works, right?
Right.
It
Good
does
work.
work. It's proven to work. So we're gonna keep on telling you the things that work,
Right.
right?
And guys, pay attention. Pay attention to the kind of car they drive. Pay attention to
Mm-hmm.
how they dress. Maybe they're wearing an LA Dodgers cap, you know, and the good agent's going to take note of that. And you know what they're going to do? They're going to send them a little mug with an LA Dodgers branded mug or whatever the
Yeah,
case may be.
nice little
But you pay
impression.
attention to little things like that, and you spend $5 to $10.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee you, you're going to make a great impression on them. And what's going to happen is they're going to call you when they're ready or they're going to refer you somebody,
Mm-hmm.
right? Pay attention. A lot of times we're moving at such a fast pace that we're focusing on the dollars instead of focusing on the relationship. If you focus on the relationship, the dollars are going to follow, guys. And you're on firsthand, you're seeing it. I've been where you've been. I've been to where I'm only closing 5-10 deals a year, right? And every year since I started lending, I've progressed to the point where I'm at. I've doubled my production year over year.
And I can confirm that. Danny's doing a great job.
But it takes a lot of work and a lot of adaptation of the systems, the gifting, the rapport building. It just takes a little bit of time, but it's gonna happen. Another person I've noticed that started to succeed is Jason. He's green in the business and he's closing some deals, and I've seen him work hard. I believe he quit his day job to continue this, just like Miguel. And it's a progression, guys. It takes a little while before you could double your production, but these little steps that me and Josh are discussing are gonna take you to the next level.
All right, so we have our schedule intact. Let's say we have our schedule intact, and then we know why we're doing what we need to do when we're getting these appointments constantly. So we're busy, but we've managed our time now. And now we're going in with a positive attitude, and we're making sure that we're following up. What are the other elements that we need to stay productive?
Okay, so stay productive. One of the key things,
or what do you have on your list here? Because I know you have some topics.
One of the things that you need to do is set up your voicemail. And so let's say you're making cold calls. You have 2 hours time blocked for green time, just money making activities. Set up your voicemail to state that you'll return all calls within an hour or 2 hours, right? That way you're not interrupted and you're focused on the money making activities. After that time's up, then you go ahead and start making your calls, right? So follow your schedule. Follow the schedule. Set up all appointments the night before. If you have showings, set them all up. Work around it. Don't answer your phone when you're in front of your client.
Right.
I have a bad habit of doing that because I tend to answer all calls, and I'm starting to pull away from that. But when you're showing a home, give them their undivided attention.
Right. Now, that being said, they're getting a lot of buyer leads. Okay. So they're talking to a lot of different people. Everyone has different problems. And there's a lot of different questions that I feel like a part of the fact that they're so busy from taking these appointments is that the follow-up conversations take up so much of their time, because they're asking, like, what do I need to get pre-approved? What do I need for my credit score? What kind of loan offers are out there, and all that kind of stuff. And I feel like answering those questions takes up a lot of time. So what's kind of your solution to helping?
Here's my solution to this, and this is going to go for, I'll speak for all the lenders that we work with, okay?
Yeah, I know they'll agree on this.
Yeah, so you guys are the real estate professional. Clients reached out to you because, one, your profile is amazing on Zillow. You guys have a great team, great platform, great marketing, right? So you guys got the advantage there, right? So I want you guys, one, to have the confidence to believe in that, right? So that's the first step. Believe in your team and what you guys are doing. Believe in your model, right? Number one. Number two, you guys are the real estate professionals. You guys should know those houses in and out. You guys should know the market, the neighborhoods. You should know the schools in the area and so forth, right? Know your product. When you speak to these people, take them a list report or whatever you got to take them to show that you're well informed and you're going to inform them of what they're purchasing, right? That's number two. Number three, stay in your lane. So this is where a lot of agents misspeak, and they start answering questions that they don't necessarily know as far as the lending side goes, right? So what we want to do is, at that point, take the time to refer them to one of the preferred lenders. And the way to do that is building trust and a sales tactic that's called the triangle of trust, right? So just the real quick script, right?
Yeah.
So I'm the agent, you're the buyer, right? Hey, Josh, you know what? Thank you for answering that question or asking that question. But you know what? I'll feel more comfortable referring it to one of my preferred lenders. I've been working with John Solik for the last 5 years. He's helped me personally and some of my family. and a lot of the borrowers that come through the doors, and he's a great guy. I have full trust in him, and he'll be happy to answer all those questions for you. Would you like me to set an appointment with him or a phone consultation with him?
Right. So it's not only does it save the agent more time doing this, right? But it also ensures that they're getting the right information, because the information is changing constantly. So this ensures that they're getting the best information. And it also says, hey, it's not just me that you're working with this through this transaction. We have our lender who's going to support you all the same, right? So they're able to depend on them and get a better customer experience. And the better customer experience obviously leads to a smoother transaction and a better review at the end, right?
And the other thing you can add to that, say, hey, you know what, I'm going to refer you to John or Megan or myself, and can I follow up with a phone call to see how he did or how she did? And that's just another point of contact that you make with them to show that you're caring and that you're following them through the transaction.
So the agent follows up after the talk with
appointment. Hey, you know what, Josh, how did it go with John? And then you could give them back your feedback and go from there. It's just another point of contact to help them through the transaction.
All right. Do we have any other ones?
Triangle of trust is so important, guys.
Wait, so, okay, triangle of trust. We have the agent, we have the lender. Who else are we missing? Where's the triangle?
Let's go on here. You're closing the triangle.
So you got the customer, the lender, and the agent.
Correct.
Gotcha. Okay.
You're closing the triangle. You're ensuring the borrower or the buyer that they're in good hands with both you and myself. So if I'm the lender and I'm referring you out as an agent, I'm going to say the same thing. Hey, I'm working with Josh. He's a great agent. He's helped me personally, or he's helped most of my clients. Everyone loves him. I trust him 100%. Very knowledgeable, right? You want to get good feedback. And we got the reviews and we got the stats to prove it. We're not just bullshitting them, right?
Right, exactly.
Have the data to prove it. So it's the truth. But you got to believe it. And you got to say it with energy, right? And
which is huge.
If you're dormant and you're like, you know what, I got a lender, I think I can refer it to you. Why don't you give them a call when you have time?
Which also ties into something that we hear a lot with just your general conversation, right? You just reminded me. So not only your words matter, right? But your body language and all that, your tone and your speech.
Absolutely.
Only 7% of the conversation is the words that you're speaking. The rest is the tone, the body language, and all that. So that right attitude going into it is going to change everything as well.
Absolutely. It's so important. Glad you touched on that.
Yeah.
That energy is important with these conversation, guys, whether it be over the phone or in person. You got to love what you do. You know, you got to be animated. Like right now, I feel I'm animated. I'm into this conversation because I love doing this. This is what makes me different than most other lenders that are getting in the door, right? So get energized. Like this is what drives you. I want to punch the screen right now. You know, I'm so excited. But you know what I mean? Like after it, guys.
Yeah.
Challenge yourself.
What else you got here? These are some good tips so far.
So triangle trust, the mental mind state. Okay, time efficiency when it comes to the lending. Say, hey, you know what? I have a great app that can streamline the process that you could do electronically. I can set every one of you guys up with this, and I know Megan and I know John have the same technology, which will expedite the process for you guys instead of having these long conversations, right? And it's going to do two things. It's going to make the borrower commit or the buyer commit, and then it's going to rule them out to see if they're just looking or they're serious. Because I've been referring my app electronically to a lot of clients, and the ones that fill it out are the ones that are committed, right? And it takes 5 minutes. So that's one way to weed out who's serious and who's not without you guys being the bad guys and kind of pushing them along, right? So that's just another way that we can refer the app now via a link email or via a text.
Now, question for you. Are agents using this?
Dude, you know what? AGE is not, but Ron has a bunch of agents and I have a bunch of other agents that love it.
Yeah.
Right now, Carlos Gutierrez's clients.
Carlos Gutierrez.
He'll text me, hey, Dan, these borrowers are interested. I forward them the link to your application. Within 5-10 minutes, I'm getting that name through my origination software that they completed the app.
Right.
I got one this morning. So it just makes things more streamlined. and more effective and time efficient.
Now, why do you think the agents aren't using it? Is it because they don't know it exists, or do you think there's other reasons?
I think
What have you been
they're
hearing?
reluctant. And the beauty about this app is that it's co-branded with their information and my information.
There's some fear around it, but you just have to talk them through the fear,
Yeah.
and then they realize it's super easy, and then they're comfortable.
Right.
But that's it. It's just technology reluctance.
Right. That's it.
So if we're telling these agents that it's easy, it's co-branded, you think that's the big difference? And then
I think that after the appointment's set and they show the home, you got to pick the right timing to share it. So it's, once they find their timing down, at that point they can share it. So I think it's just the learning curve they have to go through, but it's just a matter of time.
So I think that this is a good way of making the appointments more productive, because you're going to pre-qualify them a little bit here. Basically what you're saying is if the agents go on these appointments, right, and they feel right now, they feel like there's too many and not enough are turning out, and it might be a little bit of a waste of time. So this tool right here is a tool that they can use at the end of every appointment, and it can help pre-qualify them and gives them a reason to go on that appointment and just give it the shot, right? And then those people enter into your side of things where they become a lead that can be nurtured, right?
Correct. So what happens after they complete an application, right? After a borrower completes an application, let's say they don't qualify, right? I have all their data, I have their birthdays, I have their emails, I have their credit score, right? So then what I do is I put them in my database and we put them on a drip for credit improving tips,
there you go.
how to buy a home, how the market's doing, right? And actually, I've had a couple borrowers from last year that reached out that said, "Hey, Danny, thanks for the info. I think I'm ready," right? And then we have our other pool of buyers that want the credit help right away. And Melissa's very good at putting them through credit repair, dedicated credit.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So that's another avenue that we just pursue and say, hey, if you have the funds available, it's going to cost you $800 to $1,200 to start your credit repair. I can set you up with a consultation. I'll give them a copy of the credit and we'll send them on their way. And then I'll get notified from dedicated credit repair. Hey, Dan, they're ready to go. Their credit score is up to par. And at that point, pick up the phone again, notify the agent. If the agent's on top of it, the agent will beat me to it. And that's what we want. We want the agent beating us to it. But so just another avenue.
I think that this one is huge. I think that this is a major game changer for everyone, because our lenders all have the system in place, which is important. Okay, so they have their options. It's co-branded. But I think what's important here is the way I would see this as an agent is every single appointment. The hardest thing about getting a deal, right, any leads, is a person showing intent, right? And then everyone always says, once I get in front of them, I could close them, right? So that part's taken care of. But not everyone is qualified, right? But the hardest part is that initial intent. And if you have that initial intent and then you have the system to nurture them, eventually they'll be ready, right? Eventually they're going to get those promotions. It doesn't matter how many years down the road. You're building your sphere of influence, your pipeline for years and years and years to come, which is really important as an agent. But eventually, if they have that intent and you're keeping on top of it and following up, you're going to build them up and get them to the point where they are ready to buy. So if you're going on like 20 appointments a month over the course of months and months and months and months, you're going to start over the time of them improving and getting to that level. All of a sudden, you're going to have like 20 buyers a month, basically. Like if they're improving their credit and all that stuff. It's just a long game kind of thing.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's why I stated at the beginning of the podcast, look at the big picture, guys. If you do your job, you're gonna harvest.
You're planting the seed.
So, and this is, I may be getting off topic, but this is the problem with most agents. They don't treat their career as a job. You got to start treating this like a job, right? If you go work at Sam's Club, you're going to punch in, punch out for 8 hours a day, and you're going to be busy all day long, right? Whether you're a cashier or whether you're a stalker, you're going to be doing that task all day long.
Mm-hmm.
And as agents and lenders, we tend to get lazy and not do the tasks necessary to finish the job and be successful.
Mm-hmm.
Treat it like a job, guys. That's the key. You got to treat it like a job. And if you do that and implement all the strategies that we speak to you guys about, you're going to be successful. And you guys have the leads that are coming in.
Right.
So plant that seed and then reap the benefits of the harvest 6 months, 3 months down the road. Some of you guys are going to see them right away, guys.
Mm-hmm.
It's happening. It is
Yeah,
happening.
we're already seeing it happen right away
Right.
with several agents. So
Absolutely.
So what's I think we have the big takeaway here is those systems and stuff. But what are you seeing is working right now with other agents that you're working with?
Some of the agents that I'm working with, they get a commitment right away from borrowers, sellers, right? And they know how to distinguish that. We know where buyers' reluctancy may stand when we're speaking with somebody. One of the questions I ask when I'm interviewing a potential client is, hey, when's the last time you pulled your credit? And most people know, right, when the last time they did it. And the ones that are reluctant and say, oh, I don't know, that means that there's hesitation, right? And that they may have bad credit.
Right.
That's how I distinguish that. And what I do at that point is I lower the bar a little bit. I say, hey, you know what, Josh, I understand your situation, but why don't we set a consultation to determine where you're at with no obligation, but let's point you in the right direction. So now I take a soft approach, right? I lower the bar for them so they don't feel obligated. And we're also instilling trust that we're going to help them and point them in the right direction. So we get that commitment and we plant the seed so we can get them down the road. Just another good tactic. Yeah,
it's good. It works.
And then from a realtor standpoint, you're showing 2-3 homes, they don't want to commit, and I would ask them, hey, you know what? Are you looking for something different? What are we looking for, and what's going to get us to the point where we're going to write an offer? Let's explore all your options, and if they're not approved, right? And at that point, you state, hey, you know what? We could do a person-in-person consultation with one of our lenders. That way we can guide you in the right direction. If today's not the time, maybe 6 months is, and the market may have shifted a little bit and we can put you in a better position, but let's structure something now, right? And those are the type of conversations that you're going to have with people that aren't necessarily ready and don't want to commit. So you lower the bar for them, and then now you're going into a role of a consultant. Don't be so salesy, right? And then now you're offering them genuine help, which in return is going to convert into a seller or buyer, guys. That's it.
Absolutely.
They're all opportunities, whether they pan out now or down the road, guys. All opportunities.
Anything else you got there, or is that it?
I think we gave
I think that was really good.
No, this is great. I mean, let's do this once a month, bud.
Yeah, definitely. I think that this is going to be really helpful for all the agents. I think that there's a lot of solutions here that we provided. So I really appreciate it.
No problem.
We'll go ahead and stop the recording. But, man, this was awesome. We're going to do this more often. For sure.
Absolutely.
But, yeah, I really appreciate it.
All right.
Stop the recording.
Thanks, Josh.
See you soon.